Hey everybody, it's Niall Lucy here with Test Drive. We are on the show floor at the Salon de l'Auto in Montreal, Quebec. We're going to be taking a look at everything here at the auto show this year. If you couldn't make it out to Montreal, because there were some Canadian premieres made on the show floor this year. So why don't you join us? We're going to be going around showing you all the exciting new vehicles here at the auto show. Mitsubishi had a good presence at the Salon de l'Auto with several Outlander EV models on display at the entrance of the show. Also, front and center was the new Kia Stinger. They did have one to sit in, but as you'd imagine, it was pretty busy. The new Kia Forte also made its Canadian debut. A big theme this year is electric and plug-in models. The Sûreté du Québec had a booth. This is our provincial police force here in Quebec. The first big haul had Lexus, Alfa Romeo, Acura, Buick, BMW, Volvo, and Mini, along with a couple others. Most of the Lexus models weren't new, but the 3-row RX 350L was out on display. The Lexus LC is one car we definitely love to drive.
M5? Can you say M5?
BMW didn't have too much that was new this year. The X2 made its Canadian debut, being featured in a video BMW Canada produced in the parking garage at the Palais de Congrès earlier this month. I had no idea they made a Gran Turismo of the 6 Series. I didn't think the world needed one, but here it is. Now the M760Li is one of the cars that you guys have asked us to film, and we'd love to do it, so stay tuned. In a couple weeks we do have a spotlight and showdown featuring the G12 7 Series. Genesis is another brand that had a Canadian launch for one of its new vehicles, the G70, which is shown in blue here. And that vehicle is said to be available later in about March or April of 2018. Maserati, a brand we won't be featuring again for quite some time. Acura also had a good presence here with their model lineup. The NSX had a pretty good sized crowd. Buick is a brand that we featured recently on Test Drive with the Enclave Avenir, which is shown here. The supercars were pretty much all off limits, like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Lotus, and McLaren, but it's nice to be able to still see them even if you can't get inside of them. The next section of the car show had some modified cars, including some replicas from the Pixar movie Cars. This red Ford reminds me of an episode I had to watch of Chasing Classic Cars. Too soon, Junior. This is actually the first time going to the Salon de l'Auto for me, and it was interesting to see how it was all laid out in comparison to the Toronto International Auto Show, where the exhibitors are located in large conference halls, except here they're all laid out kind of like IKEA, where you have to follow from the start to the end so you don't miss anything. The second main hall had Volkswagen, Porsche, Audi, Ford, Toyota, and all the others. This is also the 2019 Volkswagen Jetta that they showed off here at the auto show. Volkswagen had a full range of electric models. I quite like this green on the Golf Electric. Pikachu, not so much. Chevrolet also had a wide range of electrics like the Bolt and Volt on display. The Ford GT was a little bit more accessible than the other Halo cars on display, just being roped off instead of spinning on a display. The new Ford Expedition looks like an absolute unit. Got ourselves a couple pickup trucks right here. Porsche allowed you to at least touch their cars, but the doors were still all locked up. Subaru had the BRZ TS on display, which is about the closest thing we'll get to an STI model. Nissan had the new Leaf, which didn't look terrible. Cadillac didn't really have anything new. I do like the blue on the CT6 and XT5 here. They did bring their Escada concept car on display, and it's actually one of the few manufacturers that actually brought a concept car. Aside from the back, it does look quite a lot like the CT6 that we actually drove to the auto show. The current CTS-V and ATS-V look pretty wicked, especially in these darker paint colors. The 2018 Lincoln Navigator is also one of the new cars on display with the updated interior trim and design. Now, no, Matthew McConaughey was not here in the back of the Lincoln when we opened it up, but the Continental was also open for us to be able to sit in. It has a lot of unique quirks, like the lack of actual door handles on the inside and the buttons to open the doors from the outside. This is certainly a radical new design for Lincoln, and I'm hoping that we'll have a chance to actually be able to drive this car and try it out in more depth. Mazda celebrated their 50th anniversary in Canada this year and brought some classic models like the NA Miata, RX-7, and 1967 Cosmo. I didn't see anything new at Infiniti, and the same goes for Mercedes-Benz. Jaguar Land Rover had a good setup. The XJL looks pretty nice in this matte gray. Oh look! It's a Nissan Murano Cross Cabrio with a Land Rover badge! And we wrap up with a quick pass through of Hyundai and Fiat Chrysler. Now we are hoping to be able to spend more time at the auto show next year and have a lot more coverage of everything going on. Thank you for watching this episode of Test Drive, and until next time, take care.